Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. Let's have a quick prayer with the God of Dislikes. I want the God of Dislikes to entrust me in pouring an art piece that will sell for a few $1 million. And what would I do with it? I'd like to live and not just exist. I have been existing since pretty much the day I moved out of my family's home almost 2 decades ago now. But even more so ever since I moved to Seattle and later Phoenix. And what do I mean by existing? So, right now, I live in a house with three other people. And I moved in because I got to know the owner through a mutual friend. And I like the owner, but the other two people uh, leave things to be desired. Let's just say that. One of my roommates is a borderline alcoholic, and sometimes uh, I gotta set hard boundaries with him. Otherwise, he runs the show sometimes. Right now, he's sleeping in our living area, and he doesn't like it when I use the living. He always complains about something. I go out there at night to go to the bathroom. I turn the light on, noise. Go to your fucking room. I sometimes even tactically remind him, hey, your room's bigger than mine. Or it'd be a shame that you're paying rent there and not using it. Something to that effect. Last Saturday, I thought I could win him over by. I had some time on my hands. And I offered to help him fix up his room to make it nice to stay in. And he got offended by that remark, and the kind of mental gymnastics that I have to use to deal with him, it just consumes me. But I at the same time I want to be using the living area, and then he complains about something. God forbid if I were to bring my girlfriend over, or I can only imagine what he would say about that. And it just leaves negative energy. I'm trying to better my life, and to see somebody he's older than me just drink his life away, smoke his life away, smoke marijuana, and complain his life away about noises, about whatever. And then my other roommate sometimes doesn't have good common sense. I was on the phone the other day, and my other roommate, I mean, granted, yeah, it was during the daytime. I was cooking and I was on the phone, and my other roommate was sick. I don't know with what, but she went into a coughing fit, and it caused the person that was talking to on the phone to be really turned off by that. I mean, it's one of those things that maybe you should know better, right? Maybe retreat somewhere to go to the bathroom, go back to your room, or something like that. Not when somebody's on the phone, right? Just no common sense, right? And so, I, you know, I think part of the problem is that here in the United States, people generally don't like to live with roommates. So if you have any roommates, they're going to be in the lower regions of society, right? Over in Taiwan or in Europe, I spent some time in Poland. I lived in a hostel in Poland, and you have people living there long term. And some of these people were not necessarily toward the bottom of society, right? You had Poland is much more accepting of lifelong bachelorettes, bachelors. And so you had some of those people living in hostels, and they might not have been that worse, that bad off in terms of socioeconomics, right? Here in the United States, the concept of living with roommates is kind of reserved for like the bottom half of society, at least, right? Anyway, so I'd like to live a little bit. If let's say tomorrow I wake up and somebody offers me $2 billion for one of these pyramids, what would I do? Well, I'd go replace my car. Right now, my car is giving me a lot of uncertainty, if you will. It drives, but it's giving me a lot of uncertainty. It's got 180,000 miles on it. Give you an idea how much uncertainty. If I have something that's kind of not even very high stakes, but important, my a first date, a job interview, an important meeting at work, something that an excuse is not going to fly very well, right? I have a tendency to leave like an hour earlier than I need to. And if I get there, great. I go for a little bit of a hike or clear my head a little bit for an hour. This is ridiculous. So I find myself arriving an hour and a half early on every date, on every job interview, on every important day at work. And it's a drag on my existence. I wouldn't even say life anymore, existence. I feel like I'm in a halfway house with it has a nice work release program, but it's a halfway house, right? It's a halfway house that's allowing me to go look for a future wife, right? But that's the existence that I feel myself in, right? And I would like to have some room to maneuver. So, for example, I teach at a community college. We really don't have good policies on how much time we're allowed to take off. And I find it very difficult. I found it very difficult to negotiate any time off until very recently. I'm a very shy person. And in the space of 1 week, not only did I arrange some time to meet up with a girl in another city, and I arranged a day off at work, right? And those were very tough asks. To give you an idea of how tough some of these asks are, sometimes I'll ask a girl out on a date, and whether she says yes or no, I find myself mentally drained right after the ask. Sometimes I have to go retreat to a break room at the campus or into my car to take a 10-minute nap. I'm just so drained from that ask. When I asked my work for the day off and my boss said yes without a hitch, I still went back to my office and collapsed for 20 minutes, just out of mental drain. And if I had $1 million in the bank, that might not have been a big deal, right? If I'm asking for a day off and I could care less if I lose my job, or if the day off's so important that if my boss says no, I'm ready to quit the job, and I go in and ask with that kind of attitude, I probably would not feel drained at the very end of it. Ditto with the dates, right? If I had $10 million in the bank and there were a million things I want to do, and going out with a girl was like the least favorite thing I want to do out of all the things that are possible, and I go ask her, I probably would not feel drained, whether she said yes or no, right? She says no, great, I got a million things I want to do with my money. She says no, if she says yes, that's good too, right? It's just I wish I had more breathing room. That's what it is. I wish my car didn't give me so much uncertainty. Every time I arrived somewhere and I expected my car to break down and it didn't, even though I have an hour or two, I still feel very drained. I sometimes almost have to take a nap in the car. And if it's an important event, I have to make sure my hair doesn't get messed up and all that. And all the rest, right? All the dramas that come with it. And I was so mad at my roommate for hogging the living room and then complaining earlier today. And I so badly wanted to, if I had a nuclear reactor, turn some of this into some other stuff and slip it in his food or his beer or whiskey or whatever he's drinking. This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.